All right, so we're back on this episode of the Educator Exchange.
Yes, sir.
Our topic, as you know, is what to do during the first 10 days of school.
Yes, sir.
Now, today we have a very, very special guest for you. His name is Mr. Jadun McCarthy. Now, Mr. Jadun McCarthy is the 2012 Georgia Teacher of the Year. As a product of the public education system, he is a representation of the truly transformative power of education. After graduating from the Bibb County School District in Macon, Georgia, Jadun then attended Morehouse College on a presidential academic scholarship. After earning his degree from Morehouse, Jadun pursued his lifelong dream of becoming an attorney by attending and graduating from the University of Georgia School of Law. Following his law school graduation, Jadun decided that he did not want to immediately pursue a career in law. Instead, he enrolled in the Georgia Teacher Alternative Preparation Program and began teaching at his alma mater, Northeast High School, a part of the Bibb County School District. In addition to teaching a litany of rigorous English and humanities courses, Jadun served as the school's leadership, team chair, junior class advisor, and senior class co-advisor. In 2011, Jadun was selected as the 2011 Teacher of the Year for Bibb County Schools. Following his term as Georgia's Teacher of the Year, Jadun served in a number of school level and district level administrative roles, including as coordinator for teacher quality and director of performance management for Atlanta Public Schools. Jadun currently is the director of policy planning and systems improvement for Henry County Schools in McDonough, Georgia. Jadun fiercely believes that education is the bedrock for success and achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Jadun McCarthy.
All right, let's clap it up for him.
Yeah.
Woo! How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. So, Mr. McCarthy, since we have all of that to describe your wonderful, wonderful career in education, let's just go ahead and get to the question. So, the first question that we have for you, all right, with you being the 2012 Georgia Teacher of the Year, why are the first 10 days of school critical to any educator?
First of all, I just want to thank you, gentlemen, for having me. This is an honor. You could have chosen almost anybody else in the world, and so the fact that I'm here, I'm very grateful. The 10 days of school are vitally important, and the reason they are vitally important is a simple fact. Those first 10 days of school will set the tone for the entire rest of the school year. A classroom environment is very fragile. And so the way you build it from day one is generally the way that it will go throughout the year. So if you have a chaotic classroom, a classroom that doesn't have focus, a classroom that seems that's just off the rails, 9 times out of 10, that will be the classroom that you will have for the rest of the school year. Conversely, if you have a classroom that you have rules, procedures, you have a clear direction, you have a clear focus, and that focus is safety and instruction for your students, then you will have a successful year. And so I just want to hammer home the vital importance of making sure that you set the proper tone, the tone that you want to have as a teacher for the rest of the school year in those first 10 days, because the students will take your cues during those first 10 days about what kind of teacher and what kind of instructor you will be for the rest of the year.
And you know what, Brother McCarthy? I'm just going to say I appreciate you for saying that. And let me tell you why. Because me and Dr. Williams here, we have a debate going.
Yes, we do.
I also believe that setting the tone is the most important portion of the beginning of the year for any educator. It's what I did on day one to set the expectation. Dr. Williams here, however, believes...
So I believe this. So I believe you can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. So I feel most people say set the procedures. My thing is always building relationships to where it's harder for a teacher that doesn't want to or purposely want to build relationships. It's harder to train a teacher to want to love and build relationships with students than teaching them the procedure. Because you have simple classroom management things, whether it's a seating chart or standing at your door greeting students. Those are procedures that are easier to teach. For me, what I found was that many teachers have a hard time breaking down that barrier between them and the student. As me, I'm in front of the classroom. I am the quote unquote dictator of the class. You need to sit down and get this information I'm trying to get to you. Now, do you need policies and procedures? Yes, but I think with these culture of the kids, we almost have to allow them to give you permission for them to teach them. They have to trust you to say that I'm trusting you to be able to give me the information to teach so I'm engaged in your classroom. It's different from when you said jump and we said how high. When we asked our kids jump, they're like, why do I have to jump? Who are you to tell me to jump? And why do I need to jump anyway? Why can't I walk? It's a different set of kids. It's not saying that we need to abandon those old values. It's just we know the kids that are coming into our school. We understand the scope that, especially in high school, many kids are understanding that I'm in a chemistry class. I know I don't need this class because I'm going for something else. So we have to give them that buy-in.
But I also do want to point out that the students do have to know how you as a teacher are going to react. Absolutely. Which goes to Brother McCarthy's point of you have to set the expectations. Now, I can build relationships with you, and that's great because I do need to get to know you. But on that same focus, you do have to know how I'm going to react. True. And you do have to know what my expectations for the class are. So, Brother McCarthy, we're going to put you on the hot seat. All right? You are the definitive tiebreaker, sir. Which one did, and you can't say both because I already know how this is gonna go. I already know how you're gonna meld both of them in because you're a smart brother, and I see it going there. But we gonna need you to choose one, sir. Which one do you believe, all right, is more important on the first day of school for an educator? Building relationships or setting the tone?
I'm just gonna have to be honest. I definitely, as a former high school teacher, believe setting the tone is the most important because one of the things that Corey said that I do, that I have to push in on is one of the conversations I used to have at the beginning of the year with my students was about respect. Like day one, our first conversation is about respect. And I wanted us as a class to peel back the layers of respect because Corey's right. Kids come to us these days with the perception of, hey, you got to earn respect. You got to give respect to earn respect. And so one of the things that I wanted to set forward with my students was, look, I need you to accept the reality that regardless of what household obligations you have, regardless of whatever else you got going on in the world, there's one adult in this classroom. I love you to death, but I need you to understand that there is one adult. And as that adult, I'm not here to dictate to you. I'm not here to belittle you. I'm going to treat you with the level of respect that a student deserves. And so getting my kids to understand that, no, we're not equal. I don't want you to think that we're equal. I don't want you to think that we're on the same level. But to Corey's point, you also have to make sure that the kids know that you care. So I'm not going to hedge the bet. I'm going to stick what I think that procedures are important. But I do want to say that the three most important things that I learned my first year as a teacher was a catchphrase. And that is rigor, relationships, and relevance. And those three R's, I think, serve really as the springboard for true education. You have to make sure that the kids know that you care before they care how much you know. It sounds like a little catchy, funny phrase, but it is the God's honest truth. I had kids that would do my homework, not necessarily because they were enthralled with Beowulf or they were enthralled with Shakespeare. They did it because they know I care. They know that if you come in the classroom without your homework, we're going to have a discussion about that. It's not going to be disrespectful, but it's going to be a conversation. And so always getting my kids to know that any pressure they ever felt was because I cared. It wasn't because I was the big dictator. I was the smartest person in the world. I used to tell my kids, I sat literally in the same seats that you have sat in. I've walked these same halls that you have walked. And so getting them to know that my biggest goal was to see them individually succeed and reach their goals, that was something that started day one and carried throughout the end of the year. So I definitely want to agree that policies and procedures start off the day, but then you also have to infuse that relationship as well.
Thank you so much for watching the Educated Exchange.
Now, if you like what you saw today, please feel free to hit that like button below, subscribe to our channel, and share with your friends.
Please comment below, and we'll catch you on the next one.